When you think about that, Stein, you've got Europe's biggest gold mill, you've got an amazing team led by Jim, and a record price. We found our funding partner, our listing partner, who will give us 16 million Canadian to restart this beautiful mine up in central Finland under Jim's stewardship.
These guys are real pros. They'll make this a huge success. We'd like to start moving some more out of the pits by early summer, so at the end of spring. Probably build a stockpile for a month or so, and then kick the plant in the guts and get producing.
Because we're going to have a mine life, I think, there, as you said, Jim, of at least 40 years with more drilling. So we like quality, we like longevity, and repeat the success of Rupert Resources up the road. We've got a market cap of over 800 million. The difference is they don't have a world-class mill. Our valuation is 42 million, which is crazy when you think about it. If Jim produces just in phase one of 4,000 ounces a month, building to 6,000 ounces a month, I think, Jim, at 4,000, you're going to make well over 5 million euros free cash flow a month. To get involved, go on to laivagold.com, reach out to Edward Baum. I'll happily give you a call, leave us your number. The minimum investment, Stein, is only 2,000 Canadian dollars.
All right, today we're having a discussion with Jeremy and Jim from Laiva Gold. Jeremy, first a word to you. You have some very exciting news to share with us and the viewers at home.
We sure do, Stein. We found our funding partner, our listing partner, who will give us 16 million Canadian to restart this beautiful mine up in central Finland under Jim's stewardship. And we're really excited to have announced that.
Yeah, lovely. And we'll ask Jim what he's going to do with the money in just a bit. Very exciting story, a restart story with a lot of potential upside baked in. But first, let's go through the deal, the terms. Perhaps you can take us through, I believe there's 3 tranches. Can you take us through what the terms are and how that's looking like?
Yes, the shell, actually, just so you know, it's from a fantastic stable. Their last big win was Founders Metals, which is a super high-grade system up in Suriname, market cap 500 million. And everyone's asked them, they say, tell us what is the next Founders Metals? And they've decided the next Founders Metals is Laiva Gold, Europe's biggest gold mill, ready to turn on. Jim can turn on in just a few days if he wanted to, in a record gold price. So basically, they've put 1 million Canadian down as exclusivity sign-on fee, which is very welcome for Jim to get some work done for his environmental work. Another 7.5 million will be raised at 80 cents a share with half a warrant at $1.20, 18-month warrant, and then another 7.5 at a much higher price. They'll be held in escrow until we're listed and trading on the CSE later, probably in Q3.
Very exciting, Jeremy. And Jim, thank you for joining as well. We heard 8.5 million on the short term and then a second tranche of 7.5 million in escrow until that listing occurs. What are the plans there? Of course, gold mine restart story. Perhaps you can take us along shortly. What are you going to do with it? And how do you foresee this mine producing gold again in this year?
The first thing we will be doing with this first million that's coming in is get on top of our environmental requirements, so that make sure when we do approach the authorities to get the go-ahead to start mining that there's no hold-ups. And then when the next tranche comes in, we'll be starting to order the longer lead times components for the mine. We need some liners for the mill. These things can take a few months, so we want to get them moving. We've been kept in contact with Komatsu, who will be our equipment supplier, and they're saying at the moment the availability of the equipment is very good. They can supply all the equipment we need once we pay the deposit in less than 3 months. And same as Sandvik for our blast hole rigs. Same thing, they've got good availability of equipment at the moment. So, of course, we've got to get some water out of the pits. That'll be another one of the things we start on probably with this first million. We'll start getting the water out of the pits. But the plan is to start mining in the higher reaches of the pits. So that's where we'll get the first ore from. Yes, Stein, you also got to keep in mind, not only do we have the mill in place ready to go, but we have all the permits in place. So to get a mine permitted in Finland at the moment could take easily 10 years from when you started the process to when you saw your first gold poured. So, where's the gold price going to be in 10 years' time? Who knows, but it's certainly going to be far away from where it is now. But we're permitted, ready to go.
Yeah, good to hear about it sequencing, Jim. Thank you. And I mean, currently we're looking at a spot gold price of $28.50 at the time of this recording. Very exciting. We've done a great overview a couple of weeks ago, and I'll link to that down below for the full story of Laiva Gold. Perhaps you can give a short summary. How profitable would the gold mine be currently at this gold price?
Oh, wow. Stein, that's an amazing question. I mean, at today's price, if Jim produces just in phase one of 4,000 ounces a month, building to 6,000 ounces a month, I think, Jim, at 4,000, you're going to make well over 5 million euros free cash flow a month, which is crazy when you think about it, right? The last time this was operating, the price was 1,100 euros an ounce. So we think in euros because everything's in our costs are in euros. And I think, Jim, the price today is about 27.50 euros. So what's that? It's 1,600 euros higher than the last time it was operating. Amazing numbers. The numbers just stack up. And when we bought this, Stein, 2.5 years ago, the market was terrible. We paid 31 million Canadian, and the valuation for this round is only 42 million Canadian. So if you think about it, the price has basically doubled, and our valuation is a fraction of the 500 million euros it would cost to build today. And we're doing that because we're private. We want to list, we want to produce. We don't want to miss this wonderful summer season for Jim to get producing. And it just could not be a better time to bring on Europe's biggest gold mill. Stein, what's amazing about Laiva Gold is we've valued this at 42 million Canadian pre-money, which is an EV per ounce of only $14 an ounce. I mean, you can't even find early stage exploration for that, but Jim has a world-class mill ready to turn on, the biggest in Europe. It's just an amazing upside. I mean, the average, I think, for the sector is like $200. So that's a multiple of many, many times your investment potentially if we deliver in a very, very strong market. So super low valuation. And the reason it's so low is we bought it very well. We bought it very well in 2022, right in the bottom of the bear market at 16.20 gold. But at $14 an ounce, the upside for shareholders is and potential investors is incredible.
Great overview, gentlemen. And perhaps we can quickly talk about timelines. Jim, you already started hinting at some of those, with your great overview of how that sequencing would start. When would we be talking about when the first gold will be poured in Laiva Gold?
Yeah, sure, Stein. We'd like to start moving some more out of the pits by early summer, so at the end of spring, and then build our stockpile on the ROM, probably build a stockpile for a month or so, and then kick the plant in the guts and get producing. What they typically do is start producing in a like a ramp-up style, so it's not a full production license, and that way once you get the mill up and running, then you go into full production, and that's going to be determined by us. It's just the way of working with the authorities well.
And you know, Stein, as you know, you've been to site with Lars. You've spent a lot of time up there with Jim and the team. We'd hoped to turn this on 2 summers ago, but the market wasn't there. No one believed in the gold price, and now finally there's more belief. But we think we're in a life. You know, this is a generational movement we're seeing at the moment, and we believe we're going to see $4,500 an ounce by year end. And when you've got a big mill like Jim's that can expand very quickly, it's the potential to generate significant cash flow is just unbelievable. And the beauty of it is all the work's pretty much done. There's very little work needed to the mill. The pits are ready to go. The fleet and the machinery are ready to be supplied, as they just need a down payment, as Jim said. We want to just take advantage. We're tired of talking about this. We just want to do it now. And I think our investors just want us to do it. We hadn't been able to find the money the last 2 seasons because the market wasn't there. But now, boy, oh boy, this market's going to take off. And I really think, we're going to see some very exciting times for Laiva Gold. Stein, what I love about this bull market in gold is that so few really believe it's going to keep going. Everyone's selling the top. They're not buying the highs. It's just staggering that more people are not getting involved in the space. And it tells me that it's basically a little quiet achiever. It's a stealth bull market in slow motion, while the whole market is focused on Bitcoin and Nvidia and Apple shares. The gold market is taking and leading the charge this year as it led last year. And I think you're going to see a price of 4,500 this year. And who knows where it goes in 2026. But what a time to be bringing Laiva Gold back on in a supercharged gold market that so few people are actually following. I find it amazing. It's not on every front page of every newspaper.
Just add to that too, Stein. I mean, I know we've missed the last 2 seasons, but things happen for a reason. You can only mine the gold once. So the mine would have, if we had gotten production 2 years ago, would have sold our gold at a much smaller price. So what we're going to make up for the higher gold price now as to what we missed out on in the last 2 years is we're miles ahead. And it's also panned out very well because we've managed to get an extremely good partner to come on board. These guys know what they're doing. They're experts. Some of the plans, we can't talk about some of their plans at the moment, But they've got some great ideas, and these guys are real pros. They'll make this a huge success.
Yeah, great overview there, gentlemen. And Jim, you started hinting at a very interesting topic, the synergies of experience there, the team of Founders Metals behind this shell. Perhaps you can talk us along how that's helping you in this restart strategy. Where can their experience really help drive the story forward?
Yeah, for sure. They've had 20 successful startups similar to ours. They specialise in this end of the market and in getting mines back into production. They've been very successful. That's why they have such a huge following. And they just know how to do things right. Like, for example, the guy they're probably going to bring on as a COO to help get the mine back in production, he's probably one of the most experienced people in the industry. Other people just can't get him. He's not a spring chicken anymore, but he's going to come and get Laiva going because he just absolutely loves the place. I probably can't say who that is at the moment, but once people find out who it is, they'll be amazed. It's great.
Yeah, 100%. And perhaps one more topic we should touch on is, of course, the mine plan that's currently in place. We know the facility, truly outstanding. We did a walkthrough recently with you, Jim, walking through around the mill. You can see it's state-of-the-art facility, definitely.
When you think about that, Stein, you've got Europe's biggest gold mill. You've got an amazing team led by Jim and a record price. And all the work that our geologists have done in the past suggests that if we drill deeper, we can double that and repeat the success of Rupert Resources up the road. We've got a market cap of over 800 million. The difference is they don't have a world-class mill. Our valuation is 42 million, which is crazy when you think about it. And the payback on that per market cap to revenue generation is probably 4 months of production. So we're really excited, and I couldn't think of a better general manager to lead the charge, and obviously you'll see some of the videos in this tour that Jim gave recently. Stein, what's amazing about Laiva Gold is we've valued this at 42 million Canadian pre-money, which is an EV per ounce of only $14 an ounce. I mean, you can't even find early stage exploration for that, but Jim has a world-class mill ready to turn on, the biggest in Europe. It's just an amazing upside. I mean, the average, I think, for the sector is like $200. So that's a multiple of many, many times your investment potentially if we deliver in a very, very strong market. So super low valuation. And the reason it's so low is we bought it very well. We bought it very well in 2022, right in the bottom of the bear market at 1620 gold. But at $14 an ounce, the upside for shareholders is and potential investors is incredible.
100%. Gentlemen, I think that's a great overview of this deal, of the plans of putting that plant back into production. Jeremy, I got to ask, of course, for the viewers at home, the company is currently still private. You do have a round open. Perhaps you can take us through how can people participate, how can they reach out, as well as what is the barrier of entry?
Absolutely. Stein, what's interesting, this round's at 80 cents with a half warrant at $1.20. We launched the 80 cent round a year ago when gold was $1,800. So we're basically pricing this before the bull market. We did that because it encouraged the shell to get involved, put their money in as well. And to get involved, go on to laivagold.com, reach out to Edward Baum. Ed will I'll happily give you a call, leave us your number, and would love to hear about yourself. We have over 640 investors who support our group. The minimum investment, Stein, is only 2,000 Canadian dollars. And we've built this business because of the support of these wonderful supporters, sophisticated private investors who've managed to really allow us to do what we want to do. And without any debt, that's really important to note. We haven't taken any debt on Laiva Gold. And the previous operators had too much debt and a very, very weak gold market. We've got the opposite, a very strong market, no debt. And that's the way to make a very long-term successful business. Stein, if you look at my jacket here, I had that made in 1996. It's a pinstripe from Timothy Everest in London. That's, how old is that? 1996, Jim. That's 26 years old. I tell you what, this is a great purchase, and Laiva Gold was an amazing purchase because we're going to have a mine life, I think, there, as you said, Jim, of at least 40 years with more drilling. So we like quality, we like longevity, we like consistency. We're all about long-term business approach, not chasing fads and blowing money on exploration on other areas. Our focus is Laiva Gold and creating a world-class gold mine, second biggest in Finland, one of the top 3 in Europe.
100%, gentlemen. And as a shareholder, I'm very excited for this year to unfold, to see this mill go back to production. Best of luck and thank you for your time.
No, Stein, thank you so much.
Thank you, Stein. Thank you very much.
Come and visit us when you can.